is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It is designated by the UN to commemorate the liberation of Auschwitz. Journalist, author Karen Frenkel joins us this morning. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're the daughter of two Jewish refugees who survived Nazi Europe by fleeing, staying silent, reinventing themselves. This is a story we need to hear more and more of. You decided to write a book called Family Treasures Lost and Found. What was it that you finally said, I've got to share this story?
Well, my father was a refugee from Poland, and he had escaped before World War II broke out in early 1939. And he never spoke to my sisters and me about what he went through to escape Europe. We only learned after he died and we were going through his papers that he had had a first wife. And our mother only told us the minimum, which was that his first wife had been a tourist in 1938 or 39 in Poland, and he met and they married, and she turned out to be a gangster mole, he found out when he arrived here. So I needed to investigate that. That was quite an extraordinary revelation. But my father died young, so we never got a chance to speak to him face to face.
Your story really is, well, you didn't get a chance to talk to him. Now I'm thinking about that. You didn't get a chance to talk to him face to face, but still you have all these really remarkable stories, how they survived outside the camps. Why do you think these untold stories, and now stories that you're hearing, really matter?
It's very important to acknowledge the persecution that befell Europe's 6 million Jews in Poland and throughout the continent, because if you understand what happened to them, you're likely to relate to them not as numbers, but as people, as individuals. And so in my case, in the case of children of Holocaust survivors, we were also robbed of our family history. Because the tendency was, at least on the part of my father and many refugees, to keep quiet. On the other hand, my mother, who was a Holocaust survivor and survived in Germany as a slave laborer, posing as a Polish Catholic, did speak about what happened to her. Wow. But even then, there were gaps in what she told us. Right.
Talk about these oil portraits and photos that were, I mean, like kept in garbage bags. Did you uncover these?
No, that's just part of this story. When I was about 13, my great aunt died. My great aunt was my grandmother's sister. My mother's mother, my grandmother on my mother's side, was murdered in the Holocaust. And my great aunt lived in an apartment in Washington Heights, which is north of Manhattan. And my mother and my great aunt's daughter were going through her belongings, and in a closet, they found many, many plastic garbage bags filled with the portraits you referred to, wow. Which were painted in 1912. And it was very painful because one of the portraits, but also joyful in a way for my mother, but painful because one of the portraits was of my grandmother and my great aunt as young girls, and it was painted in 1912, as I said, and they were in Polish schoolgirl uniforms, which were like sailor suits. And my mother was so shocked that in all those years, between the war and her arrival in the United States in 1947 and 1968, when the treasures were found, that no one ever told her that there was a portrait of her mother.
Wow. Amazing. So many great stories, family treasures lost and found. Thank you so much for writing the book and sharing it with us today.
Thank you for speaking with me about it. It's been a pleasure.
It is 8:27. We got cold.